You are listening to New Theory Radio. Theory Radio.
Hello and welcome to another edition of New Theory Radio here live at the CFRE studios. My name is Nav Nanwa. I am your host, and this is the show where we theorize on all things current affairs, pop culture, and everyday life. And it's available as well on iTunes and Spotify. And today we're going to be theorizing on a couple of different topics with my homies. They do a show called The Elemnt, which is currently on Sauga 960 FM each and every Saturday. Is
AM.
AM?
Yeah.
AM.
News Talk.
Sauga 960. News Talk, Sauga 960 AM.
It's a different kind of frequency.
It's a different kind of frequency. Yeah, it's the flip of this one.
It'd be AM.
I know people have some stereotypes of AM.
Really?
I'm going to bring that up.
What is that?
She's calling out the yelling degenerates.
Oh, they made fun of AM radio?
Yeah, AM radio. I think it was like Sachin in one of the episodes.
Yeah.
Was like AM. And like
Don't worry, they're coming on in a couple weeks.
Sending her
Yeah, he's going to call them out? You're going to call them out?
Of course
Those guys are jokes. Those guys are hilarious.
My favorite.
My homies Taman and Gurjoat. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Appreciate
Thank you for
it.
having us.
Yeah. No, I'm super excited. And then the show is each and every Saturday from 7 to 10.
5 to 8.
5 to 8.
You're so confused. You're confusing us.
I knew it was 3 hours. I knew it was 3 hours.
5 to 8.
Yeah. Sweet. Awesome. Thank you for joining me on New Theory Radio. How you guys doing?
Good. Thank you for having us.
Anytime. No, I feel like we should have pressed record like a long time ago because we were talking about
We
so much
were
bullshit.
talking for so much
very
stuff.
long time.
Yeah,
I feel like Gurjoat and I had a moment when it came to just talking about life choices and taking a break. And then Taman and I always have moments.
Always.
Good and bad.
Yeah.
Awesome. Why are you wearing a Michigan sweater? Did you go to University of Michigan?
No, my best friend actually started at med school 2 years ago at Michigan.
Oh, yeah?
And so I went with
Michigan
her.
State?
Michigan State.
So
that's
is that...
the one in...
It's a good school.
Oh, yeah?
In East Lansing, right?
It's a big school.
East Lansing. Is that close to Detroit?
Michigan State? No. University of Michigan's in East Lansing.
Oh, okay.
Ann Arbor is state?
It's right across. I don't know. But it's a really big school. Their basketball team's good. I'm pretty sure they're D1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's confusing down there.
Yeah.
It's a green one, Spartans.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, green.
Yeah,
Michigan State?
Because there's the Spartans and
Not
then there's
Michigan
the
State.
Wolverines, right? The Wolverines are like the ones with like the
know.
blue and yellow logo.
Yeah. So that one's in
The big
Ann Arbor.
house. Crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy. It's also a lot of this in Michigan too.
Yeah.
Well, if you go to like most of the big major universities, you'll find a lot of this.
Really, eh?
Yeah, for sure.
I heard there's an easy law school in Michigan. Is that true?
Easy Law School?
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, that's in Windsor.
Oh, yeah.
You still have to pass the bar. I don't know about Canada.
No, I think
Gurjoat's American, unfortunately. But.
No, I'm Canadian. I am Canadian.
Oh, you're Canadian now?
I just lived there.
Oh, yeah? So wait, were you born in Canada?
I was born here.
And you just moved out to Ohio? Mm-hmm. Whereabouts in Ohio? Cleveland?
Outside of Cleveland, like
Akron?
45 minutes from Cleveland.
Akron?
No, Akron's further.
Oh, because I won't say Akron because that's where LeBron James is from.
Yeah, Akron. There's a school out there too. A lot of kids go there, but no, like it's called Geneva. It's Geneva, Ohio. That's where we moved. It's a very small town.
Yeah.
There's towns. It's not cities. It's like towns.
Sounds like a town like from Riverdale.
No, it's actually, literally,
like one of those
That's what
sitcom
it is.
towns, like small
There's
towns.
towns, and there's another town next to it,
Where
and there's
everyone
another
knows your
town
name.
next to it. There are rivalries, unlike rivalries here in high school, but it's sports related.
Oh, sports-related rivalries in the U.S. are next level.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy.
It's great, though. It makes games, like, so much more fun to watch.
Like, I remember when people would throw, like, homecoming celebrations here in, like, Ontario schools.
Yeah. I think it only happened in universities.
Yeah. And people, like, celebrate homecoming at, like, high school in, like, the U.S.
Yeah.
Or, like, they go all, like, when homecoming for them
Which
is,
is,
like, a weekend off.
Fall.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's usually there's a homecoming dance, which is awesome.
Which is
there's
in
a
all
homecoming
movies.
football game,
Yeah.
which is good.
Yeah.
I wasn't allowed to go to a lot of
You didn't go to the homecoming
first
dance?
2 years. No, I did eventually.
Yeah.
I think 11th grade.
She, like,
or
snuck
something
out,
like
didn't tell her
that.
parents.
No. I was a good kid. I snuck out once, maybe.
Oh, yeah.
Twice, maybe.
And it's counting upwards in her mind. She's like,
I mean,
Maybe
it was
6 times?
No,
Might be 7.
I think so, but it was always
Times
like
10.
a. Upward ladder.
Upwards.
We're
Or
totally,
breaking barriers and rules.
Yeah.
we're totally exposing Gurjoat on the podcast.
It's all right. Ain't nothing that's not already exposed. So it's totally fine.
I think
I'm not
Gurjoat does
that-
it like every week to herself.
I do it to I set myself up so nicely.
Yeah.
I don't know why or how, but it just happens.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Well, peeps,
Yeah.
I want to theorize on a couple of topics this week, and you guys were pretty open to talk
Yeah.
about anything.
Yeah.
So this is going to be just like a random. I'm just going to pull topics out of a random hat, and see how you guys do.
Lay it on
Okay.
us.
Even though I think I might revert back to two.
You can make it as
topics I told you guys about.
you can make it as controversial as you want it.
Well, you know
You
what?
want to
Just-
get an honest, open opinion.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Super hot take. Super everything. Just go
Yeah.
all in and
Why not?
Don't take any prisoners.
Well,
Well, okay. So that's
We're just here. Like, we have nothing to lose. One of us is like,
Right.
we're both banned from India at this point. I think.
no,
Yeah,
listen, that's all her fault. That's her fault. Yeah.
Like,
you guys are like
Taman
smash.
loves bringing this up because she just wants to make it even worse.
Oh
and I'm
my
like,
God.
Taman, please
You know.
stop, man. This is live air. Sauga, they can find us so easily. Chill.
That's so funny. Well,
Yeah.
you know what's not banned in India
What?
is Beyond Meat burgers. Ooh, that's
Yeah.
like my
that
segue.
was like a smooth. That was
I just hope for my sake they sell Beyond Meat burgers in India because I don't know. But there's like paneer burgers
Yeah.
on there.
Yeah, there though for vegetarians, there's so many.
It's like a
options.
haven.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
India's the reason why I can't have. You know how like some people they put like potato, like they'll put fries in burgers.
Yeah.
India is the reason I have trust issues. I can't put anything potato in my burger.
Because it was
Really?
like, you know, like the other tikki in the burger or what?
Yeah,
I've
because
had
this
it.
one
It's
time
great.
I was in India, like when I was like, younger, and the street vendor cart thing came around. And
Yeah.
my parents were
Gotta
like,
be
"Oh, here's
careful with
money.
those.
Like, go try something, right?"
You got sick, didn't you?
No, I asked for a hot dog because they're selling hot dogs.
Oh, my
they
God.
Put an aloo in a hot dog bun,
Are you serious?
and I was like, "Where's my hot dog?"
I just picture like one, and for those who don't know what aloo is, it's a potato.
Potato,
A
yeah.
fried potato. I just picture like a fried potato just in the middle of a hot dog bun.
Yeah,
and
it
you're
was a
trying to
fried
eat it.
potato, and it was like I think they burnt it, so it was like
That's
brown, like a
interesting.
hot dog.
That is hilarious.
I'd probably eat it.
Yeah,
love that.
I
I'll
ate
put
it,
some
and then I
onions
didn't
on
finish
that.
I
it.
kind of wish I was there to see your reaction.
Yeah,
That's like the
Tell
biggest
issues.
fail, especially.
Oh.
I'm assuming you were a kid, weren't
Like
you?
I can't. My best friend actually like even talking about Beyond Meat.
Yeah.
She owns like a vegan vegetarian store, and so she has like vegan alternatives and vegetarian
Yeah.
alternatives. But she also does like a little bit of like Indian street food in there as well. So she
Yeah.
has they're called noodle burgers.
Oh,
And so
okay.
there's a potato patty that goes inside of it.
Really?
I need
And
to
a
eat at your
tikki.
friend's place.
You do. It's so good. And I took one bite, and like that whole PTSD just like hit me
Kicked in
so
real
kicked.
fast.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I can't. Like I just froze.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know, it's
traumatizing.
It's interesting because I'm finding that if someone is vegan or someone is even just they can't eat gluten, there's so many veggie options now available. Like they're like before we get into what Beyond Meat's all about. Like I'm obsessed with what Green Giant has come out with because
Yeah.
they have like frozen zucchini noodles and frozen butternut squash noodles that I just throw into my pasta and they taste perfectly fine. Like they don't fall apart. Like they have the same type of texture, and I guess it's healthier for you.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I'm getting so hungry now. Just having this
I forgot
conversation.
Gurjoat's vegetarian. But anyways, let's talk about Beyond Meat burgers. So veggie burgers. So this is an article straight from Global News. Veggie burgers that look, taste, and bleed like real meat are posed to become a $1 billion business, and everyone wants a taste of the action. That's a funny intro. So it looks like the U.S. company Beyond Meat, which is responsible for A&W's Beyond Meat burgers, which mysteriously do taste like meat, are launching in 3,000 Canadian grocery stores. And it's a bit of a game changer because I think nowadays, in like the sort of era that we live in where there's so many fad diets out there, there's so many people that are choosing to go vegan, there's so many people that just hate the concept of meat and are reverting to vegan choices because of just activism and all that. Beyond Meat's really disrupted the market. So, Gurjoat, let's begin with you. Because you're a vegetarian, you said you never had a Beyond Meat burger before.
I haven't.
So what's your like go-to when you go have a burger? Like a bean patty?
I like the veggie patties that are
Oh, yeah?
made from all different vegetables and
Yeah.
chickpeas and
Corn
black
and all
beans
that.
and put in it. I don't
Yeah.
really like soy patties. Like to be quite honest, I haven't had meat my whole life. So anything that's really catered to tasting like meat, I'm just like, it like stresses me out.
Really,
so
eh?
I just
So you never had
avoid it.
meat ever?
No.
Really?
Maybe when I was like 3 or 4, I think. But after that, not at all.
Why'd you go vegetarian? Was that just a family choice?
Yeah, well, it was a family choice. My mom did, I did, my sister, my dad, my brother. But eventually my brother and dad started eating meat, and then me and my sister, we just didn't. So that's all I've known, to be quite honest. But I lived in the States for a while, and then living here, when we moved here, it's kind of sucked because there are no options. There's really nothing to eat nowhere. Like, you can't really get burgers that often. And it's cool. I would probably try it. I'm trying to warm up to, like, soy-based stuff. But I heard soy isn't really good for you a long time ago. So... Yeah.
Well, they consider these burgers plant-based burgers. Right? But, what kind of scares me about this whole Beyond Meat innovation that we're seeing is that I'm a big meat eater. And I do like the Beyond Meat burger at A&W, but it really tastes like meat.
Yeah.
So for me, because I used to have like the same type of veggie burgers that you talked about.
Yeah.
And then, depending on where they were from, I was never really a fan because I was like, oh, it's almost like eating an aloo tikki in a bun, right? like going back to Taman's example about the fried aloo, the fried potato in a hot dog bun. Like, you knew we weren't eating meat, and you just sucked it up, and you're like, oh, okay, I'd rather the real thing.
I think it depends where you get it.
Yeah,
it really depends where you get it.
I guess you can't go frozen with those, right?
No, you're not really.
Yeah.
Well, there are some patties. There's Morningstar. I think that's a big brand. They have a veggie patty that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Cactus Club, their burger is really good. It's just quality, right? It takes a minute to find that. It's not easily, unlike fast food when you eat meat and stuff, you can get anything and it'll taste decently good. It's not that easy when it comes to veggie food.
Actually, so it says here that Beyond Meat burgers typically are made with bean protein, beet juice, and yellow peas, and a special ingredient that it sources from Canada and France.
Interesting special ingredient.
Sorry.
You don't understand.
Yellow peas are the special ingredient.
We're like, whoa, paranoid level is so high.
Oh my god.
She's like, cause poutine too. She was something's closing out recently, and it's
dare to be fresh. That's crazy.
Yeah. I think I would yesterday. I was talking to Gurjoat, and Gurjoat's like, okay, I don't understand why you're so upset. And I was like, you don't understand. I moved to Brampton 3 years ago, and Dare to be Poutine, Tea by Daniel, Labby, these were all places that
kind of downtown Brampton fixtures.
Yeah, and so it was kind of things I would go by there. I'd go get I'd go to Labby, go get a jalapeno popper sandwich, grilled cheese from Little Ice Cream Shop. Go get Tea by Daniel. Head over to Poutine a little later on.
Wow, you had your downtown spots on lock.
Yeah, and then it just all just blew up, and no longer
maybe a Beyond Meat burger spot will open up. Maybe an A&W will open up.
Maybe. No. I'm trying to have that. I'm trying to have the authentic experience, and so I'm trying to figure out what's the exact closing date of Dare to be Poutine. I don't know if it's
in protest outside. You should. I'm
trying to throw a party there.
That was one of the spots that I thought was doing well, but maybe they just. Downtown Brampton's a whole different topic, but I think the fact that businesses are disappearing one by one is kind of scary.
Yeah, because one relocated, and I remember talking to some people from there, and they were how it was unsafe to be in downtown Brampton late at night, leaving work, and especially because a lot of their employees were younger females.
Yeah,
and so it becomes difficult. Even House of Cards, right? And now it's replaced by another Games Cafe, which is pretty cool. Yeah. But House of Cards had funnel cakes.
Yeah, I know.
And
funnel cake at Canada's Wonderland.
Were the funnel cakes vegan?
Bomb.
All right, funnel cakes can be vegan.
Yeah, and they had boozy milkshakes, and who doesn't like that? And so I don't think the new place does.
Yeah.
But it's places like these that are disappearing, making way for corporations to come in.
Yeah,
right?
I was gonna say,
isn't there a salad spot opening up in downtown Brampton?
A salad spot?
I think, wasn't there a spot right across from the Starbucks where coffee culture used to be?
There's I don't know if it's I think it's a, it's called Nine Queen or Queen
something like that. It seemed like a salad bar type of deal.
Yeah, I think so.
But, no, that's interesting about the businesses closing down. But maybe they can invest in vegan businesses. Like Beyond Meat.
Yeah. Hopefully it's good.
Yeah. But I don't think that vegan businesses are prospering in places like Brampton and Mississauga because I feel you can have one joint here and there, but a lot of people are afraid to try it.
I mean, because a lot of places suck. I'm going to be completely honest. Like, you go to downtown Toronto, I've been to a lot of vegan places. They're terrible.
Yeah.
Kitchener, they have, I don't want to say any names because I'm not trying to,
Hot Town vegan.
right? And, like, it's
Here we go.
I feel like it's
The
worse
vegan hot
for
take.
me because you get so, you don't understand I love food. I'm a foodie.
Yeah.
And, like, when I see the menu and I can get whatever I want and everything, like, your excitement level goes a little bit higher. But, and then, so I guess maybe that much more expectations are a little bit higher. But even in Kitchener, I went to a place, sucked. Toronto, I went to a couple places, sucked. I went to the vegan, there's a fair that happens in August. I mean, it was alright.
It's like a vegan food festival now.
Yeah. It's
I
great.
think they call it the
a lot
Veg
of food.
Fest because of vegan and vegetarian.
Yeah.
Honestly, I can't remember what
Do
it's
you feel
called.
like with offerings like these Beyond Meat burgers that more and more people will choose to be vegan?
Of course. Like,
Yeah.
if there's more options, obviously people will. Because
I just find it interesting for you because you never really had a burger. So when you try it, I'm curious to get your opinion on the Beyond Meat burger when you try it.
well, I mean, to see if it's good or not.
Yeah, to see if you like it. Because the reason why people
Yeah.
enjoy it is it tastes like a beef burger.
I don't know. I try it.
It's
I
also
feel
kind of
like,
scary. It makes you kind of realize how processed beef burgers actually are if you can mimic the same taste.
But the thing is, if you can like a lot of places around the world, or if you can cook and whatever, being vegetarian isn't hard, and there's so many flavors in so many different dishes, right? So you still, I think, can develop like a pretty broad taste palette.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think food in Canada in general is pretty bad.
Well, we don't really have a cuisine.
I actually, I'm gonna protest that.
Okay,
You can
let's do this.
protest
All
all
right.
you want. Doesn't mean
I
it's not
don't.
the truth.
I think like
We got a hot take for the hot take.
no, but like unless you go to places like New York or Miami or
Which is awesome.
California, which
Buffalo,
have like
awesome.
poppin' places, right?
A lot of
like,
places do.
Food isn't really that good. Like we went to different places in Michigan, different places in Buffalo. Sorry, no offense. It's just like we couldn't like. It's like when it comes to like they can do like American food good, right?
Yeah.
But it's like they can't do like sushi good. They
Tell
can't
me.
do like other places like that good, where it's like when you come to Toronto, when you come to like a extremely like when you come like New York
Okay.
does it, right?
I
Cali
think there's
does
more
it.
sushi options. Yes, so good. But let's get to another like different ethnicity. Mexican, way better in the States. Italian, way better in the States.
No, but it's like you have to kind of go exploring in like places like Toronto, but like
I
there's
think there's so many more options.
I
mean, I've lived in a
it's also
couple
a bigger
different states.
population.
yeah.
But but Toronto to me, when I think about the Toronto food scene, which kind of I know Toronto in general, I think it's pretty diverse.
Yeah.
But like I remember when I think the Bramptonists and Rhonda Taylor worked on like a Brampton food guide.
Yeah.
And I was reading it and I'm like, yo, we have authentic like Tamil cuisine in Brampton.
Yeah.
Like we have authentic like Filipino cuisine. Like I had no idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things where when you're not exposed to it, you don't really pay attention.
Yeah.
But then there's also not a lot of marketing that's really being done
Yeah.
for some of these places because maybe they're rooted towards their specific communities.
I think when it even comes, I follow like I'm a huge foodie as well. I
Yeah.
follow a lot of food Instagrams. Like I think just food and
If you just know where to look.
yeah, food and
Yeah.
meme
Yeah,
Instagrams.
I think
are
it's
my
just
go-to,
more
but-
easily accessible probably there. That's what it is.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not vegetarian, are you?
No.
Do you like? Because I know for me, I'm definitely not vegetarian. But to your point, Gurjoat, about flavor, I will have a vegetarian dish if the flavor's there.
Yeah.
Like that's why, like when we think about South Asian cuisine, like for me, when I have dal, like dal for me is like a detox, just to kind of get my body like
Yeah.
away from all the crap that I eat during the week. But in general, like if it's something's flavorful, I don't have to have meat in it. But then again, like I'll never go fully vegan over a meat option if I'm presented both. If that makes sense.
Yeah. No, I
Yeah.
get it.
Yes, Taman, I'm wondering for you, like, are you the same way? Are you just more like, fuck it, I don't eat anything vegan, I just kind of do me, or what?
It really depends with who I'm with. I
Yeah.
try to be like more mindful.
Yeah.
I think when Gurjoat and I first met, we went out to go get sushi, and she's
Yeah.
like, order whatever you want, and I'm like, no, but you're vegetarian,
Oh,
and so it's like
okay.
I go like if
You're
I'm going
so
with vegetarian,
considerate.
vegan,
But she's
yeah.
considered in the sense that, which is funny, because funny story, she's considered in the sense of like, let's find places where I can eat too.
Yeah.
I went to Dallas for a friend's wedding.
Yeah.
And I was the only vegetarian. And usually Kamal's with me, my sister, and we'll like figure it out.
Yeah.
And and we didn't have a car or whatever. It was just, I didn't eat that much. Like, I ate like once a day, basically. And I was like, my brother and them would go get Chick-fil-A and stuff. And I was like, yo, I want to get some food too. Let's go somewhere else. They'd be like, yo, it sucks to suck for you. You're a vegetarian.
So you
like,
just eat fries.
They'd be like, eat fries. I'd be like, bro, I don't want to eat fries every day. But it's like, not everybody's that considerate.
Well, especially because, like, even in Toronto, like, one of my favorite dishes, have you heard of the hot, like, not hot dog, but the sausage place called Wurst on King Street?
Worst?
Yeah.
No, I haven't.
It's a dope spot. It's like different types of sausage and all that. But they have duck fat fries.
Yeah.
So like fries that are cooked in duck fat. I'm not sure if that's vegetarian.
No.
Yeah,
well, it isn't. And
it's so
Buffalo
good.
Wild Wings.
What? Fries?
I just found out recently Buffalo Wild Wings cooks their oil is something similar like that.
They probably use the
Meat-based.
same oil for the fries that they use for the wings,
and the
which is
potatoes
never,
and stuff, which kind of sucks because I really used to like Buffalo Wild Wings
I love
because they
Buffalo
had all
Wild Wings.
those different like sauces essentially.
I'm actually obsessed with
Potatoes
these, like, I guess they're soy, but they're like, there's this company called Gardein. Have you heard of Gardein?
Yeah.
Yeah. I like their chicken fingers are very much like they taste like chicken, but they're not.
I had their interesting.
Yeah.
Because I was in Indianapolis just this past weekend and I got Gardein soy as well, but it was like macaroni mushroom, like macaroni, cheese macaroni, whatever mushroom with Gardein. It was pretty good.
Yeah, and they also have I guess their version of like ground beef.
Yeah.
Which is like, I guess, ground soy that looks like beef.
Yeah.
And my wife made like a keema dish with it.
Yeah.
And it tastes just like the real real shit.
Yeah.
Like, it was crazy.
I think when it comes to certain vegan, like, well, Malcolm Gladwell, actually, going off the fry thing.
Yeah.
Malcolm Gladwell on his podcast, Revisionist History.
Love that podcast.
Phenomenal.
So good.
He does this one, he did like one whole episode, like he does like a full in-depth inquiry into McDonald's fries.
Yeah.
And how the change has deteriorated over time. But
what
like
do you mean
taste,
the change? Change
sorry,
of what?
the taste of it, of the fries.
Oh, yeah, they used to be so good.
But that's because they used to be cooked in beef fat.
Oh,
and then,
really?
Yeah.
Word
and then there was
up.
a man who actually launched, like, you know, he was like this like huge billionaire. I forgot his name. And he had like cholesterol and diabetes and all that kind of stuff, right? Or he had to get like something to do with his heart, and so he launched this huge campaign, invested so much money to fight against fat and stuff.
I watched it.
Yeah, so
where he only ate McDonald's.
No. I don't think it was McDonald's. I think it was like in general, like everything. Maybe it was
That was
McDonald's.
Super Size Me.
Yeah. I saw that
And-
in high school. They like showed it to us. They're like, watch this. This is what you not
Watch
should
this.
not do.
Don't eat McDonald's 24/7
Yeah.
while
And-
like you're eating your fries.
Exactly. And so he launched this huge campaign, and so McDonald's over time they started experimenting with different things, landing on vegetable oil. But when vegetable oil is like heated to a certain frequency, like a certain heat, it becomes dangerous for you to ingest.
Wow.
And so, but then even then, it also affects the taste of the fries.
That's what kind of scares me about some of these Beyond
Yeah.
offerings is the taste. Like, as much as they want to promote how healthy it is and how it tastes similar to a real meat product, to me, I always think about how much testing is actually done on these items and how much are we actually taking in that's actually good for us? Because to your point, like if McDonald's had an issue with cooking their fries in beef fat and they're trying to find something that mimics that maintains the same flavor, you almost have to tamper with it.
Yeah, you do.
That's crazy.
And so there's like that, but then also when it comes to like vegan options of it, like when it comes to eating meat, like eating meat doesn't make you a bad person, right?
Yeah.
Like I studied environment and urban sustainability at Ryerson, and it kind of like always came to the conclusion that like, oh, like to be an environment, like recently I read something, or my friend was telling me that she read somewhere that if you want to be an environmentalist, you have to be vegan. And it's like, I have vegan and vegetarian friends, and I'm very conscious of their choices. And if we're going out, I will try to, like, you know, we'll go to Bloomers, or, you know, even though it's like a drive away, we'll go to vegan places. Or like Onyx in Brampton is like a Jamaican bar and grill, which offers vegan options. They actually have an amazing jackfruit burger.
Amazing.
They should like actually just sponsor me. I talk about them so much. I'm always kidding. But it's like, I'll take my friends there.
And
like,
you told me you want to take me there.
Yeah. So they have like a pulled pork, like a pulled jackfruit burger, which tastes like pulled pork. And so you have like, places like these, which like I'll always accommodate for. But when you're eating meat, if you're eating factory farmed meat, that's obviously bad for you and it's bad for the environment. It's the leading cause. But then there's certain times where it's like if you're eating ethically farmed, like if you're eating ethical meat, that's fine, right? Like
actually, you should watch that video that I sent you that you probably still haven't watched.
I'll watch
There's
it.
this YouTube channel called Kyrgyzstan or something like that.
Yeah.
I love them. I watch their videos all the time.
Do you just like exposed meat eaters or what?
Well, no, it was about the meat industry in specific, and one of the things was just because something says it's like vegan meat, as in how like it's ethical and how they raise the animals. It's not really that big of a difference. It's still in unethical like circumstances.
Totally.
It's crazy, actually.
Well, that's why like everyone thought with McDonald's that the chicken that they were serving was like not real chicken. It was like pink chicken.
Yeah, for the nuggets. They had videos. Oh, that was so gross.
It was, and then I remember during my MBA, I was like in a innovation and technology class, and I learned about something called meat glue. So meat companies were so focused on making sure they weren't wasting a lot of the animal when it comes to producing products.
Yeah.
That they would sometimes take all the excess meat that's available off of everything.
Yeah.
And then put it into a bin and apply something called meat glue that would eventually bring it all together. And you would get like your hot dogs. And,
oh my god, that sounds so gross.
Like,
and I used to work for a meat company back in the day, but it's all good.
I don't know, what was it? There's a certain type of meat my dad wasn't cool with us eating because he was like, "That's no." Like he was like, "It's all the waste of it." It wasn't pork. It was I don't know what it was.
Well, hot dogs historically can be considered.
Hot dogs.
Hot dogs can be considered mystery meat.
Yeah.
Because if you read the label of a hot dog, if you're having a beef hot dog, sometimes it's beef and pork mixed together. Yeah, which is crazy.
I love this conversation right now. I'm so excited about it.
I'm actually a meat eater, and I'm getting turned off as I speak. So,
but like even when it comes to like meat food, like I get what you're saying, Gurjoat, but there's like this also there's research and studies and books written on why
what am I
eating
saying?
meat is
what
like,
was I saying? I don't even get what
yo,
did
honestly,
I say? No, but like,
I gotta give Taman respect because she's like the first pro meat eater to be like, no, eat meat.
I never said don't eat meat. I literally, there's this common misconception. It's hilarious, actually. I'm going to throw the stereotype out right now. A lot of people, I'm not vegan myself. I prefer being a vegetarian. Like, I like milk. I like dairy. But a lot of people that eat meat think like vegetarians and vegans just hate all meat eaters, or we're all out to get them, or we're just angry, or like, I don't ask, for example, she goes out of her way to like think of where we could go to have more options for me. But like, I wouldn't be like, yo, let's go only here. Like, I can eat mozzarella sticks and I'd be having a great time. We could have some nachos and I'd be cool.
But I actually respect that because I remember knowing somebody in my MBA who over time, because my MBA took it was 28 months because it involved co-op, but like during the time that she was in my class, because we had the same classes together, she was like a vegetarian that eventually went over to becoming vegan, to the point where she found out, my first job was working for a meat company in marketing. When she found out I worked for a meat company, she never asked me how my job was going. Like, she just mentally was, and mind you, I'm not the one slaughtering the pigs. I'm the one figuring out ways to market,
capturing the chickens outside.
I'm the one trying to produce products, but she would never ask me like how my job was going. She seemed somewhat disturbed that I'd be working for a meat company. She was the one that on social media that would post videos of animals being tortured, which again, I get it. I get that, sure, some of the actual conditions that these animals go through are not good. I myself I don't like to see that stuff on my social feeds, so that's why I unfollow. But
she shouldn't like people that judge someone based on like stuff like that personally, I think is just kind of wasting their time, because you can't control what anybody else does. Yeah. First of all, if you're going to eat meat or not eat meat, that's a personal choice for you. Go ahead, do it, don't do it, If I felt as strongly as she did about the industry in that way, I would probably try to get involved in a way that I could maybe alleviate some of those issues. Because personally, having some beef with one individual, that's not really going to change anything.
As Taman breaks the microphone,
that's not going to change anything. That's just a waste of your energy. And eventually, some people, just the thing is, it takes them a minute to realize that or to even get there on their own personal journey. So hopefully, like, if it's like that, then, and you don't want to see that, like, I would probably do what you probably did, was probably cut it, like, take her out of your news feed.
Yeah.
Because I don't like seeing that stuff either. I hate it. Like, it's so, like, it's heart-wrenching.
And unfortunately, this is a super hot take on my end, but even though I didn't want to see it, it's not like those videos were going to deter me from not eating meat.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's for me, it's...
You're going to go get a chicken salad sandwich afterwards, right?
That's like bullying.
Out of sight, out of mind. And if I'm ever going to take it out of my diet, it's mainly because of health reasons. Yeah. Right? Yeah. So I feel like we can go forever about this topic, but I do want to pick another topic out of this magical hat that I have in front of me. Let's talk about spoilers, because do you guys watch Game of Thrones?
I watch Game of Thrones. Okay. I love the Game of Thrones. Yeah. Before we go to spoilers, who's your favorite character?
Character on Game of Thrones? I do like Tyrion.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do.
I feel like Tyrion's a favorite for most.
He's like the conscience of the show. Like, he's someone you can root for. That one part, I think, in season 3.
I like him. He's a good character.
Season 3 or season 4, when he got his comeuppance on his father, was great.
He's smart.
Spoiler alert.
She prefaced this question to tell you who her favorite character is.
Oh, she actually his favorite? Okay, can I guess?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm going to say your favorite character is Jon Snow.
No. I kind of hope he dies. He survived way too many times. No.
What if he's already dead?
What do you mean?
Spoiler alert.
Get out of here. That doesn't make sense.
I'm just trying to throw people off.
I like Cersei. Yeah. I love her. Yeah. She's such a power player. She's so smart. She's so cunning. She's so evil. I like bad guys. I tend to like bad guys more.
Villains.
Yeah, the villains. I like the villains. There's so much more character development to them. Like, I still like Arya. I still like Jon. I don't like that. He's too self-righteous for me. Like, he's like literally the epitome of self-righteousness. And then Khaleesi, she's too like headstrong, in my opinion. And they make these characters like this purposefully, I feel like, just so you can like see this within them. And Tyrion, I feel like he thinks he's too smart for his own good, which will lead to his own demise in its own sense. But Cersei, she's cool. I like
the first Cersei fan.
I want her to be
two first. We have Taman, who's the meat advocate, and we have Gurjoat, who's the Cersei fan. But
what a team!
What's interesting about Game of Thrones is really the hush hush around spoilers. Yeah. And I find that now because we live in the age of social media, it's very hard to escape spoilers. It's crazy because on my social feeds, people always complain, I need to watch Game of Thrones as soon as it comes out, because as soon as I turn on Twitter, people are either commenting during the show or they're reacting to what they just saw, and they just flat out ruin what just happened.
Yeah.
I never experienced that. Maybe I'm not following the right Game of Thrones fans, but it took me about... the last season before the current one, which came out, 2 years ago, I just watched it back in December, and I didn't hear about anything that was going on with Game of Thrones.
I don't think there is that many spoilers.
Yeah.
To be quite honest.
It's even with Avengers is coming out on Friday, or today, if you're listening to it today, or on Friday. It's, just a little bit of a mind warp there. They're starting hashtags, don't spoil the end game, because everyone's worried about spoilers, which is part of the reason why I am watching it on opening night, because I'm so paranoid about spoilers.
I think there could be See, the thing is, I feel like when it comes to spoilers, at least for Game of Thrones, you have to actually invest into it and look for it and look to it. It's not, nobody's really that blatantly I don't think it's that out there unless you specifically allow yourself to see those spoilers.
Unless you're following every single Game of Thrones super fan.
Yeah.
And they just they want their voice heard regarding what's happening.
Game of Thrones in itself, the network, I feel like they get screwed over a lot, and this is the first time nothing's been leaked. Apparently it was the previous episode it was leaked.
Yeah, I heard about that too.
Yeah, apparently. So they say, I don't know.
But even HBO this week, or I guess every week since the new season started, they release photos from the episode to kind of provide a bit of a teaser.
I like that.
Yeah, I like that too. It gets you excited, and I find, because the reason why I wanted to talk about this, get both your theories on it, is mainly because people get very emotional when it comes to spoilers, and I get it. I'm probably one of those people, But when you're on social media so consistently, and a lot of these shows, a lot of these movies, they're considered big moments, and people do want to talk about them in real time because they want to engage with other fans. Yeah. How else do you choose to escape it unless you disconnect?
I think when it comes to spoilers, there's nothing really like if I'm gonna see a spoiler of a movie or a show that I really want to watch. It's not going to deter me from actually watching that thing, right? It might make me a little curious, excited. I want to see at what point it happens. Yeah. That specific thing, but it doesn't really. I feel like people that say that spoilers spoiled their movie, I just like it doesn't make sense to me.
Do you know what actually? You know what ruins the viewing experience for me is when people overhype something as being the best thing ever, and then when you finally check it out and it's not. Yeah. Like I know some people, and this is probably another hot take. I saw Black Panther when it first came out. I thought it was amazing. I know some people that when they saw it, when the hype died down, they were like, meh, it was okay. They said it wasn't anything special.
Yeah. Oh my God, I hate a serious critic. I have a cousin that's like a real big critic like that. Yeah. Who will do that, and I'd be like, all right,
goes against the popular opinion.
Yeah, it's annoying. But for spoilers with Game of Thrones, and you said how to avoid it and all that, to be quite honest, I'm not really that connected. So I'm not in a position to have anything like get ruined for me. Like I remember when the Red Wedding, I never watched that episode instantaneously, and everybody's like, "Oh my God, it was crazy," and I was like, "Okay, I need to watch it," but I never saw anything to like spoil anything, and I'm never on enough. I'm on social media more so now because of the Elemnt, to be 100% honest.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you're not Googling like if I'm gonna go watch GOT, right? Yeah. I'm not gonna go like if
GOT as in Game of Thrones.
Yeah, Game of Thrones.
Called it GOT.
GOT. Yeah.
I love it. I've never heard that. Yo, I'm gonna go watch GOT right now.
But that's what the hashtag is, right?
I'm gonna
hashtag GOT. And so it's like I'm not gonna go on Twitter and like when the trending tweets come down, I'm not gonna go click Game of Thrones if I don't want to spoil it, right? I'm just like, and if I see it on my feed, I'm gonna scroll past it. Yeah. And it's just like it's really you can
still control. Yeah. If it bothers you that much, you can avoid it.
Yeah.
Well, so another thing that's interesting about spoilers, I think, Taman, you kind of touched on it. Yeah. So I'm a big pro wrestling fan. A lot of wrestling shows do get pre-taped because of just scheduling conflicts or just if they're overseas somewhere. And sometimes, like WWE, the actual wrestling company, will release spoilers of what just happened at their event because something big probably happened and they want to garner some interest. A lot of it also is a way to prevent leaks from taking place, which, Gurjoat, to your point, I think that one of the episodes of Game of Thrones, they get leaked beforehand.
Oh, always. They've been actually pretty good under wraps this time, which is interesting.
Because I remember, like, before streaming, like, albums, like, music albums used to get leaked all the time.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, the Wednesday before Friday, no, sorry, not even, like, the weekend before Tuesday release, when albums used to get released on Tuesdays. Yeah. You could find a copy of Beyonce's album like a couple days before.
LimeWire.
Yeah. I think you guys said at the same time. Did you guys share an account?
No, I was back in Ohio at that time. Universal thing.
LimeWire was crazy. Oh my God. Yeah. Did you guys use Morpheus too?
Morpheus, I don't know. When did that come out?
Morpheus was around the time when LimeWire came out, but then LimeWire eventually took over everything.
Yeah. I was LimeWire.
Yeah.
So many CDs, like back in the day.
What was it?
Stacks and CDs. Oh my goodness, yes.
Yeah.
But there was nothing in our computer that that was that big of a deal. Like, we're gonna reboot it now, erase everything, and download.
It was like this massive chunk.
Literally. Oh my God. Still remember those old school motherboards.
Yeah.
How do we lug those around? So ultimately, I think when it comes to spoilers, you guys are cool with them.
I'm cool. I wouldn't go crazy about it because I'd still watch it. I feel like just because there's so much. I love reading stories, and if it's a really good show or movie or whatever, there's so much more to the movie or story or whatever than just one specific part or scene or whatever.
Especially because with the way I watch TV, I'm always doing like the second screen experience. Yeah. But I also love watching some of these behind the episode featurettes where they have like the producer talking about it because it allows you to understand what happened in the episode, or you listen to these podcasts that review the episodes and have discussions like the ones we're having right now. I find you get so much value in that for someone who
Want to talk about the last episode of Game of Thrones?
like right now.
You're gonna spoil it for the people
I'm not gonna lie, dude, this is a hot take for this season. I'm finding it a little boring for the first 2 episodes, but I feel like shit's definitely gonna
Which
go
is
down
kind
for the
of,
next
yeah, I'm
episode.
disappointed in that sense. I really thought it was going to be like boom, 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 boom. Like, I didn't think they were going to build up to anything, which is, ugh. But I guess we'll see what happens. I'm excited.
Yeah,
I just
I'm
want people to
excited
die. I just want them to die left and right. I don't know. I like that.
I guess that's the expectation, and that's what makes the red wedding, the purple wedding, like such big moments for the show that then resonate online. Actually, one of my buddies, Strick, who was on the show last week, he just watched the red wedding episode.
Oh, did he?
And then he tweeted out something around, now I understand why everybody was freaking out on
Oh
social
my
media.
goodness.
Because it was just so crazy, because he's actually watching everything from the beginning.
I think that was the next, like, most crazy episode other than the last episode of the first season. I feel like that was the most dramatic. Like, you didn't see it coming.
It was like the first episode that took a life of its own.
Yeah.
That was season 4, right?
Season 2.
Season 2?
Yeah.
But see, like, that's the thing. Like, you enjoy writers, you enjoy content creators that aren't afraid to explore, right?
Yeah.
Because, like, growing up, like, I know I read a lot, and, like, this Gurjoat does too, and, we read storybooks that, like, they give you that suspense that this person's gonna die, but never really kill that person or wait until the end because they're so integral. Where it's like, the first season you thought, like,
let's not drop any spoilers,
but,
just in case there's anybody that listens.
Well, I used to see that too for Game of Thrones, where people who, because I think now George R.R. Martin's no longer
no, he's not part of it. No,
but when he was in the beginning, you would have, to your point, people like your cousin that would be almost like these smart ass critics that would be like, oh well, in the book this happened, or oh, that was the same as the book, and now this is probably going to happen. And
well, I can
like,
understand that a little. I get it. I get it a little to a certain extent because I've seen so many books turn into movies and stuff.
Yeah.
But Game of Thrones specifically, like, I read the first book, I read a little bit of the second one, but I was too much back and forth. They stuck pretty close to it.
Yeah.
Like, as close as you could. Like, you got to think about it as well. Like, when it comes to a book, there's only so much you can really put out. Like, when you're comparing it to someone's mind and their imagination. Like, that's pretty impossible to kind of get out there in reality.
No, totally.
Reality
in quotations. Speaking of reality, let's go into our last topic, and that's FOMO, fear of missing out. I think we touched on this earlier off air. I'm going to admit it. I do have serious FOMO. I was watching the Coachella streams the past 2 weekends. I did watch Sunday service while my wife and I were checking out a Blue Mountain over the weekend because we needed some R&R. But I was like, no, I need to turn on my YouTube and see Kanye do this interesting
for 2.5
performance.
hours.
Yeah, I didn't withstand the full 2.5 hours. I think I tapped out at like just under 2 hours.
Yeah.
But it was pretty insane because for the first half an hour, nothing was going on. Yeah. But FOMO was real. And I'm seeing two different sides of it now. Like, I think when I was coming out of my master's, I think that's when the term FOMO got coined, which I think was around like 2013, 2014, the fear of missing out. And then ultimately now I'm sensing people more so embracing JOMO, which is a joy of missing out, where they don't want to conform and they don't want to be in the know.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So I'd like to get both your theories on FOMO. Like, do you guys suffer from it, and why do you think it happens? And let's begin with you.
I mean,
as you get Gurjoat to speak.
When it comes to, I think that I have FOMO, but I think I can control it. I think we all have FOMO.
To a certain extent,
to a certain extent. But I think, like, when I do certain things, like, if I choose to have, like, a night in as compared to going out, I would be fine with it. And I think that, because I've, like, trained myself, I'm like, I guess I've trained myself in a way that I'm like, it's okay. Like, yeah, you're feeling it, but here, like, pop on a movie and do something else.
It's all mental, right?
Yeah.
And like FOMO, I had a lot of FOMO when I was younger, that's for sure. But I think it's all mental and it's all perspective, looking at things negatively or positively or whatever. And that's why more so, I think there's a lot of more positive thinkers now too. When it's, maybe you said people don't want to conform, but maybe it's just they're just enjoying their own present, essentially.
Maybe they're eventually over it. They just don't care, and they rather just focus on
what's the point of wasting that energy on?
Yeah.
I mean, of course, like, depends on what it is, right? There's always so much going on in the world that you can't be in two places at once. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I had mad FOMO when I wasn't at your launch party because I was at like to a whole nother level.
She called me.
What launch party? I don't even remember it.
Even when we had noise on this in the studio, wasn't in. And Dusty, I wasn't in. I was at the Pink Attitude event. I had so much FOMO.
She called me like 3 times.
I was like,
texting.
Can you?
I was like, aren't you going on stage? Like, what is up with all this messaging?
Funny.
Yeah,
but FOMO's real. Like my FOMO, a lot of it is when like around big time pop culture events or happenings. Like for example, I've gone to a lot of the OVO fests, and the ones where I haven't gone, like I'm almost like fuck. Like I remember my biggest FOMO moment was me and my buddy, my best friend Odie, we could have got tickets to the very first OVO fest when Drake first came out, like right after his Take Care album, and we were just like, meh, it's just Drake, like no big deal. And then I'm on Twitter, and he's bringing out Now. He's bringing out Jeezy, Bun B, everybody. Then he brings out Jay-Z and Eminem. And then as a Toronto kid who's from Brampton, I was freaking out. I was like, Jay-Z and Eminem just made a surprise appearance at a Drake concert. And then from that point on, I bought tickets to it because I'm like, I don't want to miss it. Like, these are big time moments for the city.
Do they still happen every year?
They do. Like, he didn't do it last year. Last year he just did his normal tour and nobody really came out. Just Travis Scott came out. But the year before he did it at Budweiser and it was massive.
I know he got G-Unit out one year. I missed all of them.
I was there.
I want to be there. My cousins go all the time.
And those are the FOMO moments. And I find that, especially now that in Toronto over the last, I would say 10 years, we've had so much focus from the mainstream culture. It's so easy. Like, I had serious FOMO during the NBA All-Star game because I wasn't there.
I was in Toronto.
Yeah, I was at a birthday party and it was a
I didn't go to
dope
the
birthday
game.
party. But I was like, man, I've always wanted to see the dunk competition.
But when's the last time Toronto's going to get it? That's some real FOMO. I get that.
Yeah.
Like, when's it going to come to Toronto again?
Like 10, 15, 20 years. Like, there's so many teams that like to cycle through the different cities.
Yeah,
like,
and on top of that, though, it's like super expensive, though.
Yeah, it was
like,
really
it's
pricey.
crazy.
I
got myself to Toronto, but I couldn't get myself to the game. The atmosphere.
You know, like, that's all it is sometimes. That's why people gather up in, like, you know, Leaf, like, you know, when the Leafs are playing, or the Raptors are playing, that's when they gather up in, like, huge circles. That's why we go to a bar.
Maple Leaf Square,
Maple Leaf Square. We go to a bar. We, like, you know, go somewhere that's, like, lively because we want to be with other people. I get FOMO. I need to move to California.
Yeah.
I've been saying it.
What's your FOMO with Cali?
Selection. So Selection Radio.
Yeah, with Joe K.
With Joe K. So I've been listening to it for, like, more than 5 years now. It got me through school, actually. So I've been listening to it, like, 6 years. And so they have, like, cool things happening all the time. I think, like, concerts, whenever. They recently just had a Selection brunch, and they posted it about it.
Wow.
And I was literally looking at it. I was like, that is my song. That is my vibe. Those are my people. And so, you know, obviously they come on concerts and they come here. And the Toronto community itself has formed a little community amongst itself, like the Selection community. It's like, you know, you go up and you're in the mosh pit, you're at the front. It's the same exact people that you saw at the past 2-3 concerts.
That's great.
And so that's, like, you know, I don't know their names, but, like, I can recognize their faces, they recognize mine, and we're all dancing and having fun together, right?
Each other.
But, you know, actually being there, like, in California with the heat, with, like, you know, the vibes, like, having so many people coming out.
Just go. Take a trip, bro. Go to Cali.
I just need to live there, though. That's the thing. It's like, I need to, like, that needs to be, like, I need to wake up in the morning, you know, do my thing, and then, like, you know, every night just meet up with, like, a bunch of creative people in California at some cool food place.
That's like, I saw Jay-Z at his last tour. Not the one with Beyonce, but the last 444, he came to Toronto, but I missed him because I was working at the time and I wasn't in Toronto. But then I found out that he was playing Brooklyn, like, on the Monday after, and I had that week off.
Or you drove to Brooklyn?
No, I got my wife and I to fly out there and
That's
see
dope.
So that was like a bucket list item because I got to see Jay-Z in Barclays
And in
Center where he's
Brooklyn,
from.
yeah.
So
It's
it was
seeing
amazing.
Drake in Toronto, right?
Yeah.
You want to see him, and like not even in Toronto, like a paid like big concert. You want to see him like locally. You want to see him at the Rise.
It's something about seeing a rapper like in his hometown, like rocking it, and it was a sick show because he did like a Biggie tribute and all that, like stuff that I think he would never do like in a normal show.
Yeah,
and that decision of me wanting to go to that show was driven off of FOMO because Jay-Z's my favorite artist. I love that 444 album. I wanted to see it perform live, but I can't go in Toronto, so I convinced my wife like let's use my Aeroplan points to fly out to New York.
Are you still on Aeroplan?
Yeah. That's a different theory.
I used to have Aeroplan.
Why am I still on Aeroplan? Theory of Aeroplan.
You need to transfer over to the Infinite.
Yeah.
Telling you.
Is the Infinite where it's at?
Way better.
Infinite's TD, right?
Yeah.
Visa Infinite.
Are you on TD?
I am on TD yet.
Yeah.
TD customer
Telling
for
you,
life.
and you'll get those bonus points for switching over. Listen, I used to work at TD.
Oh, snap.
Tell you, Aeroplan is so much worse.
Yeah.
The other one's way better because Aeroplan, there's a lot more restrictions on when you can use it.
Yeah,
and
it
stuff
seems like
that.
it. Actually, my wife's points got erased. She had like
Are you serious?
40,000 points, but because she hadn't used the card in like a long period of time, she was checking her balance and they're all gone.
That's so stupid.
Yeah, it was so whack.
I would fight with them over that. Seriously. But if you both switch over, then you can get all those points for.
Tell TD to send the
switching.
check, man. You're advertising TD quite a bit right now.
I'm just saying because I'm just giving you the better choice. That's all because I had it
I
myself.
gotta secure that banking bag.
The only thing about Aeroplan that's better, the one thing, is it has insurance, like luggage insurance. So
Yeah.
if you lose your luggage, they'll give you up to $1,000.
Wow.
So which is good.
Yeah.
But you earn points and everything else better with the other card. Just saying, I switched over. It's doing so good for me.
What did you switch over because you wanted to, or because you worked there?
Because I
And
wanted
you need to open up an account.
No, because I got so annoyed with Aeroplan. I was like, this shit's so stupid. It was like constricting me way too much on like where I wanted to go when I wanted to go. Like I wanted to just pay for my travels, which it should be. There shouldn't be a restriction.
No, I agree.
But there is though.
Yeah.
It used to be even worse. There used to be like blackout days.
So you clearly don't have any FOMO about your Aeroplan.
Pardon?
You clearly don't have any FOMO when it comes to your Aeroplan.
No, not at all. No.
Is there
FOMO at all.
anything? Actually, I'll pose this question to both of you. So, name one thing that you had FOMO about that you've gotten over and you just don't care anymore, and what's something that you have super FOMO about that you are like committed that you need to be in that moment whenever it takes place.
Gurjoat, do you want to go first?
No, I don't know. If there's FOMO about something that I don't care anymore.
Yeah. Well,
What do
like
I
maybe
not
when you were
care
younger,
about
you were like,
anymore?
man, that's something that like if I didn't do it, I would have had serious FOMO. But now that I'm older, it's just meh. Like it doesn't matter to me.
Attending all the Harry Potter movies.
Yeah.
Well, like I don't think it's valid anymore because they're like unless she's coming up with a new one.
So you don't go to those spin-off movies?
No,
or
I haven't been
prequels?
to those.
So like
either.
it's just like when they first come out, I
Yeah.
would want to be there with like all my swag on. I'm talking about.
I get it.
like,
I
you
went
know,
by myself
Harry
before.
Potter, like everything.
You'd have like the cape and like the glasses,
everything.
the wand.
Yeah,
You're
and
crazy.
like you want to dress up in that, like the socks. I'm telling you.
Did you like draw like a scar on your head?
And it's like I wanted to be there for everything, but now even with like the spin-off movies, like it's like they come out, I like even if I go 2-3 days later, but I'm not much of a movie person anyway. I don't think I have the attention span for it anymore.
Yeah.
I'm just like, I have things to do, why am I here?
That's interesting because I can almost relate when it comes to the DC movies because I was a big Batman fan when Christopher Nolan directed it. Anything after Dark Knight Rises, I just didn't care about.
Yeah, it's just like whatever.
Yeah, and I used to be similar to that. Like I used to be the guy that would watch every single superhero movie in the movie theater because I just love superhero movies. Now
I can relate.
I'm definitely more of a Marvel fan, but yeah.
Yeah, I haven't seen Ant-Man still.
I haven't seen not one or two.
Me
And I
neither.
haven't seen Captain Marvel.
But
yet.
I don't even care to see Ant-Man
Yeah,
that much.
yeah.
I'm just like, oh, whatever.
I feel like there's some Marvel movies now for me that I consider airplane watches.
Yeah.
Where if they're on the Air Canada airplane system, I'll watch them. Like I did that with Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
But if they're not, unless they're on Netflix, unless there's nothing else good on Netflix, then I won't watch it.
The only thing I can think of, because I literally can't think of anything that I had so bad FOMO about, because I do get FOMO, but I get FOMO over like being with like people and gaining experiences, like, and it can result in many different settings. So I do get FOMO about that, like if it's people that I know and it's places and whatever. But I used to, in college, I guess, get a lot of FOMO over playing basketball, because like everybody be playing, and like I would skip classes sometimes. I wouldn't do my homework sometimes. You know what I mean? I spend so many hours at the gym playing, but everybody's playing, so I want to be playing. It's so much fun. It's easy to get so immersed in it. Or if I'm not playing, and if I'm something, like, then do what I got to do to be get my shorts or whatever to be there, even though I should be probably doing something else more significantly more important.
Crazy.
That's like the only thing I can think of.
No, but that's an interesting one, because you had the love for the game, and
even now,
so miss it.
My ankle is swollen. I still do now, but because it's so much to me personally. But I rolled my ankle like 3 months ago. It's still a little swollen now. It's not fully recovered, but I feel like I need to go. Even now, I'm going to go play. Hopefully it'll turn out great, and I won't mess anything up. But that's the only thing I can think I have FOMO over.
Even going off the social kind of aspect of it, I feel the same. Like, you know, before, if my friends were like meeting up and gathering up together, like I wanted to be there. I needed to be there. Like, let's do something as a group at the forefront of it. But it was like, you know, there's like so many other things to be doing, and it's like you're seeing your friends like all the time, and sometimes it's like, you know, it's better for you and your wallet and the time to be like, hey, like, okay, it's cool, you guys are hanging out, but this is my time commitment. I'll hang out with you another time. So kind of like putting like boundaries is a huge thing when it comes to that.
So
right?
that's more JOMO then. Joy of missing out.
Yeah, that's like JOMO. Something that I would die if I missed out on is when selection comes to just saying, like, if like Joe K or like Sound,
I haven't gone. They came last year and I missed it.
No, it was good. If you ever come, you will see me front row and center.
Yo, let me know.
We'll hit it up.
Yeah,
Joe K
told me before. Told me you need to go with me. I'm like, all right, because she said mosh pit, and I'm like,
She's like, no.
So many people.
A selection mosh pit's probably just like bobbing your head, just enjoying it.
Just mosh pits in general.
Jump in. Like Naji was here. Naji, Andre Power. I forgot who else.
Gold Link wasn't with them.
Pardon?
Gold Link wasn't with them, right?
Gold Link wasn't with them.
No.
He didn't come as well. No, Esta was here. Joe K didn't come to the Toronto one when they had their. It was in.
But Hablet Brown was
October.
There too.
Pardon?
Hablet Brown was
there. Yeah. And so Naji was there. And so there's a song that I've been listening to Naji for like over a year. And I'm joking about it. I'm like, yo, if I ever choose to get married, that's going to be my You told me right? Before. That song. And there's another one by Xavier Omar with Sango. Like that. They had their own mixtape.
Sango's dope. And
Sango. I was like, you know, that's going to be.
That's the song you want to be proposed to?
Not proposed to. It's like I was like, those are the two songs.
It's like, don't even propose until you play the song, bust out the phone, press play. Now do it.
And like, wait.
You have this mentally written down in your mind, not in a notebook anywhere, right?
No, it's just, you know,
I feel you.
Take me to a concert, that's fine.
That's
but basically,
but music has that type of connection with people. It's totally.
It does.
It's just
I
different
get serious
levels.
With music. Like I've been big music concert too.
Yeah, and you can connect with them. Like I went up to Naji, I'm like, bro, you're singing at my wedding.
And he's like, all right.
And I connected with him afterwards. I was like, hey, like a friend and I started a show, like, and this is before our first episode. I was like, we'd love to have you on. Let's, record something.
Yeah, you told me.
And this is like even before we started, and he was like, yo, like I'm down. And then time commitments happen.
Yeah.
But even still, like he follows me on Instagram, and so I'll post something. He'll be like, yo, that's hilarious, and I'm like, you're talking to me. And so
that's a sick connection.
Yeah, and it's like, you stay connected, you're with these people, and it's like a legit community. You go there and you're like, dang, you're vibing with like friends. Like, sorry, I'm getting into
it's
the zone
always
right
fun
now.
to meet
friends and family. Like these strangers, these group of strangers. You guys are on a similar frequency. It's good music, good vibes. You guys, no bullshit people.
But that's a form of FOMO too, because I think we kind of touched on this off air when we're talking about sort of the journey you're on, Gurjoat, right now in your life, and what I've kind of come out of in the last year is the thought of missing out on the opportunity.
Yeah.
Like that's a FOMO too, because there's so many people, and we talked about this off air about I think again I wish I recorded some of the off air conversation because it's really good. But the fact that when you're in a place where you don't have passion for it and you do have passion for other things, and then you start thinking about, man, I wish I could be spending the time that I'm spending doing something I don't like on something I actually like.
Yeah.
That's a sense of FOMO.
Yeah.
If you ask me.
Well, yeah, for sure. That's why I'm sitting at where I'm sitting at right now.
That's why she's ready to play basketball after this.
Yeah. Well, if they're playing, if they're running, I don't know.
Yeah.
For me here, it's so much different because I have to like prove points still. Like where I used to be in the States and, you know, people know you already, or you don't have to prove yourself so many times in so many different ways. But as you were saying, that you're right, like missing out on moments and stuff. But that's the thing, that's the whole journey. That's why there's that JOMO / FOMO or whatever. It's all understanding yourself and doing what you got to do that creates that happiness for you. Because even if you do have FOMO, you said you went to the Bronx and you got to experience that because of that. You got a positive experience out of it because of having it. It doesn't necessarily just have to be negative. It's just whatever works for you best.
No, for sure.
I think when it comes to creativity as well, right? Like when it comes to FOMO, like I think that funnels a lot of creativity because it's like in a couple of years, this is what I want to be doing, right? And like I feel like that's a sense of FOMO as well, right? It's like if I don't do this, then I will miss out on these opportunities in the future, or you're working towards something, right? Which like basically comes down to like speaking from my personal creative process, there's like a bunch of ideas and things that I have running on in my mind. When I was younger, obviously I didn't have the tools to do them. And now as I get older, like, and these ideas come and I'm like, you know, I can take them by the helm. Like I have the opportunity right now. It sucks that like, you know, I'm working 2 part-time jobs. One of them sucks ass. I'm talking about you, duty free.
Oh, geez. Just calling them out.
Just calling out. And so like, it's like, you know, and it's like, but right now, even though that's happening, I still have like this abundance opportunity. I work at this amazing station. Gurjoat and I have our own show.
It's good to take it when it comes along your way.
It does.
Like you have
access to like,
for sure.
Well, if I was working more like how I used to be, and then like because it was Monday to Friday work, then weekends was volunteering. I didn't have time for the Elemnt at all, not even close. And Jyoti asked me like a while back, and I was like, let me get back to you. And I literally had no time. And then I even asked her because she asked me again. She asked me a couple times. And then I asked her, I was like, all right, like, what are you looking for before I just like say yes to anything? She's like, full creative freedom. I'm like, oh. Okay, I can roll with this.
Sometimes that's all you need.
Yeah.
Like that's the journey I was on. And it's funny, yesterday, we're recording this on a Wednesday. Yesterday was the 1-year anniversary of when I left my job. So I did have the entire day I was just reflecting on how much progression was made in that year, and how when I had that moment take place a year ago, I was a little scared because I didn't know what was coming next. But then again, the fact that I had that time off to work on creative things, I almost conquered the FOMO that I was facing sort of the months before, because I was always thinking about what if, and never really living in the present. I think that's what's important.
Oh, for sure, 100%.
Yeah, that's cool. Any like final thoughts on any of the topics we talked about? This was a good conversation.
Guys,
final thoughts?
Not to toot our own horn.
Shout out to News Talk Sauga 968. This is The Elemnt. I am one of the hosts. My name is Gurjoat.
And you're joined by your other host, Taman.
Oh my god.
You guys should totally tune in.
You guys are so funny.
It's on Saturdays, 5 to 8.
Usually we sell the plugs at the end.
You know, it's so weird. I was just like sitting here and I'm like swinging in my chair, and I'm like, I realized when Gurjoat swings in her chair, because like, you know, usually she has a phone,
so much.
and it's like I'm usually like full concentration focus
on,
like,
the board, probably,
and it's like you're monitoring 2 like computers
and
the conversations, trying to check the time,
the levels,
trying to tell
volume.
like people like, you know, like
I'm
speak
a
this far
big
with the
problem
mic.
for her because my voice goes up and down a lot depending on what we're talking about,
Yeah, I
or
was
if I'm
gonna
getting
say,
really
okay.
into it. I'm sorry.
No, I'm
It's
joking,
a problem.
okay.
And
It's
so
a-
like
it's a
I'm always
problem.
like monitoring it because like you're trying to make sure that it goes on.
Yeah,
like,
totally.
Because like it's like when you're turning in, like something into a podcast, right?
Yeah.
Like we're in the process of turning ours into a podcast.
Yeah.
You can like compress it or you can like level
Totally.
it out, right?
Yeah,
But it's,
radio's
like-
just completely
yeah,
different.
radio is like
It
you're
is
like
different.
manually doing
Yeah,
it.
you're literally a one
live.
person show, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're live and you can't have like little spaces. Oh, I remember our first show. We got like 5 different
we
news
thought we
stories.
overprepared.
We genuinely thought we over prepared. We're like, all right, we're
And it's always
ready.
good. Like I used to do local TV for Rogers for like
Yeah.
4 years, and there'd be times where my producer would give me like stacks of paper,
Mm-hmm.
and he would tell me he's like, some of these are just time fills in case a guest goes super short,
Yeah.
or in case someone cancels. Like you have
Yeah.
to kill a segment, or you have to at least be able to throw to different things at various times.
We went through all of them our
Yeah,
first show.
we
Like,
only had
I don't
2
even know
hours.
how.
Like I think I'm like editing it right now. Like half of
I don't even know what
half
we
of the
talked.
2
She didn't
hours
even
were
talk
breaks.
for the first 15
Yeah.
minutes. I was just carrying the conversation, and I'm like staring at this girl because people can't see you, but they can hear you.
Yeah, yeah.
But I'm like, all right, I'm gonna let it keep going, and I'm like, say something dumb, and with my eyes.
And
I'm
like, mind you, that like we didn't even know each other that well. That was
Yeah.
the 3rd time meeting. The
Yeah.
first time we did the show.
It's like a blind date.
And so she was kind of like,
Basically.
why am I doing this show with this girl? Like, she's not even talking. And I'm there, and I'm like a deer stuck in headlights. I was like, I don't know what to say. Like,
I'm really good at rambling though, so
yeah, she was good.
I'll
And then
just
that was
keep
2
going.
hours. And now we do like 3 hours, and we don't shut up.
Yeah.
Like, I think that
Yeah.
it's a continuous conversation. And when it runs out, we're like, what?
That's the one thing I find interesting about radio and podcasting is literally, like right now we're all sharing a moment kind of
Yeah.
recording this, but then
Yeah.
when you listen to it, it sounds completely different than when you record it.
yeah.
Because, for example, I may feel like I fumbled a line earlier, but then when I listen to it, it's like, oh no, I didn't. Like it
Yeah,
sounds
yeah.
fine. But it's that's the key difference why I love doing sort of radio podcasting versus TV. Don't get me wrong, TV was cool, but it was very strict on a schedule, and you were more so focused sometimes on making what you were saying as simple as possible for the viewer to understand, but also caring about aesthetically how you looked and how
Yeah.
everything around you looked. While for radio, it's a very comfortable environment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And sometimes on good days when I'm recording the episode, I do my kombucha, but I don't have it today because the convenience store here on campus is closed. But
I don't know what this kombucha
You don't know
is. It
what kombucha
water
is?
or
Oh my God.
something?
Oh my God.
With
Shout-
flavor
shouts to
in
Kavita
it?
Kombucha.
Why,
They did
you
retweet me last
like,
week.
You have to do this. Like, you should have done it on our show. You had to do it on someone else's show.
So maybe the next time I show up on the
I'm
Element,
sorry.
I'll bring you guys
Clearly,
some
I'm not
kombucha.
cultured enough. Explain to me what kombucha
It's fermented tea, right? So they
Yeah.
put like
It's really
good
good for your-
bacteria.
Oh, I like
Good for your
chai.
stomach. It's good for your
Orange
stomach.
pico. That's what I usually get.
It's a bit different.
Very strong
but
black tea.
I'm just like,
I'm gonna bring you guys kombucha when I come on the Element.
no,
Yeah, we
I
make chai
am
in
an
our
avid
studio,
kombucha
actually.
drinker.
What? So tell me,
I love
explain.
kombucha.
Sorry.
So it's like
interrupted.
fermented tea. So like basically it's good bacteria in tea, and it's like iced tea, right? Which is
Yeah.
good. And so they have it's not anything you put in water becomes tea, right? Like if I'm gonna boil ginger in water, so it's actually really good for you. So
ginger?
it's good for your digestion.
Yeah.
It's good for I'm just listening. Kombucha, what is it? Rise.
Yeah.
You should hire me as your sponsor or like sponsor me.
Is ginger
I'm just going
flavored?
for all the sponsors.
I'm telling
today.
you, just
Is it
sponsor
ginger
me.
flavor?
So
I don't really
right
like
now I have
ginger.
like a case of like ginger at home, but
Interesting.
It's so funny. Anyone
There's so
listening
many
to this
different
podcast for the first time is going to think I'm sponsored by TD, by Dare to Be Fresh Poutine, which is going to be like closing
oh
up
my
soon,
God, I'm
and
gonna
then
cry.
last
I'm gonna
Rise
go protest
kombucha.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You guys should take it over and make your own poutine. Make Beyond Meat poutine.
Beyond Meat poutine.
That'd be dope.
You guys ever have the thought that this is totally random, but I was just
Hey,
thinking
New
about
Theory
this
Radio,
today.
give us your theory.
And we talked about food quite a bit. Maybe it's just me, but have you ever been in a position where you think your parents' cooking is so good that you try to convince them to open a restaurant?
Yeah.
Because I've like done
All the time.
Yeah, right? You're
Sometimes,
just like,
I'll be
whoa.
honest, the concept of eating Indian food outside sometimes boggles my mind.
Yeah.
But my dad makes everything, like not just
Yeah.
Indian. Like there's so much, but there's always a twist to everything. in
Yeah,
some
it's
way,
like
so,
there's their own ingredients, their own taste to it.
Yeah.
like that's the one thing that that my wife and I sometimes laugh about is when we order Indian food.
Mm-hmm.
We're like, we grew up in an Indian household. If I really wanted Indian food, we could just drive to Brampton to my parents' place, or we can make the trek all the way to Ajax to go visit your parents and like actually eat authentic homemade Indian food versus buying it from a restaurant. When it's funny. It doesn't really make sense.
Yeah.
But
well, to my parents, I'm just like, damn. Like my mom makes some really, really bomb pizza, fresh pizza. Needs the dough fresh, everything fresh.
She put ginger in it.
Not my pieces, because I don't really like ginger.
You like ginger? Wow.
I like tomatoes.
How do you not like ginger? Ginger's the best.
Can I expose you?
I'll
here?
drink it if my throat hurts really bad and like if you got to put it in the tea and you're like, drink this.
I'm gonna expose Gurjoat real quickly here.
Gurjoat's
the only person I know that doesn't like Greek food.
Wow, really?
I don't.
Really?
Yeah.
What is it?
What is veggie Greek food?
People.
Salad and potatoes? Let's be honest. Let's put it out there.
She does have a point, because for me, when I think of Greek food, I do think of like the chicken that you get, like
the chicken souvlaki.
Yeah, chicken souvlaki is the best.
Now you know
the Greek salad's really good. Like I love feta cheese.
I like
too.
Mediterranean, like falafel and stuff is real good.
Yeah, at least you have more options.
But Greek is like...
I should bring you guys back to talk more about food. I think it's...
I'm so hungry right now. I'm thinking of not even playing ball. I'm like, maybe some sushi places open.
Wow. Probably. Yeah. Well, I guess on that note, you guys already plugged the show, but if anybody wanted to reach out to any of you, how do they connect?
So they can reach out to us on Twitter, on Instagram, The Elemnt.
Yeah, Twitter. We're so active on it.
Oh. Good job.
Yeah, my bad. I have my own Twitter that I'm really active on.
Plug whatever you want.
You can reach out to, like, you can
Instagram.
email us the Elemnt at sauga960am.ca. Like we said, Instagram, Twitter, The Elemnt.
But we don't spell element right.
Yeah.
Just to make sure we put that out there.
It's TheeleMnt. You can hit up Gurjoat at Gill KG. Check out her poems, her rap songs.
You're a rapper too?
No, I'm not.
Don't piss her off.
She
won't Taylor Swift you.
Wow.
No,
that's true. Eminem rap god you.
I will Taylor Swift you. I do that a lot. But I write a lot. I write poetry.
That's nice.
I write fiction, and I kind of
right
dabble and rap a little.
Spit something.
I don't know.
I'm gonna be that guy. Hey, say something. Just spit something.
Do you want to?
Dude, do you have like a haiku? A haiku that you can give me?
I don't know, man. I have like a rap I just posted, but my brain just went blank right now.
Yeah.
What was it? How does this start? Let me think about it. Oh, my mussie's calling me because my dog is at their house.
Oh yeah.
Okay. I wrote something because I got in an argument with someone and then inspired something and it turned into a rap. So let me try to remember how does it go. Oh yeah, now I remember. I could totally mess this up.
Just want like.
I don't know. I just wrote it.
All right. All right. Let's hear it.
All right. Yo, bro, let me break it down for you. I'ma come and take that crown from you. You think you are a special one. Putting people down ain't nothing special, son. Throw your punches. Yeah, I can take a punch. I built a shield. I eat people like you for lunch. I'm a veggie, but I'm a man eater. I'm an alpha, I'm a woman, and I'm a leader. Oh, I'm out of breath now.
Wow. Bars. I felt like you were saying that to me. And
I was mad. There's a lot more to it, but...
You're officially the first New Theory Radio guest that's actually rapped something on the show.
Yeah.
I
could have done more, but I
never even got Noise to do that. I never got Noise to do that. I've had a couple rappers on.
I don't think we got him to do that either.
Yeah.
He's good.
That's funny. Yeah, he's legit.
But you can follow me on my Instagram account too. At TK Atwal, ATWAL.
Atwal.
Nice. There you go. I'm saying it right. Proper pronunciation. And so currently working on a dating show. So I will.
Oh my goodness, she is
in May.
Yeah.
So a blind speed dating radio show. Gurjoat will be on it for
Taman
sure.
made up this show, right?
She told me about it.
And she's like, I'm gonna put you on it, Gurjoat. I'm like, okay, with the assumption that she wouldn't go on herself. Like, you thought I'm gonna be a part of this dating show, and you not at some point commit to it as well. This isn't listen.
But who's gonna direct and produce it?
Yeah.
I need to be on.
I'm just your guinea pig. That's what I am. Right? You just know Gurjoat's not gonna say no to anything. No. I'm more of a all right. Let's try it out.
Let's try it.
Screw it.
So I'm doing that. Also working on another show with like parents. If you want to have a creative conversation with your parents about your career choice, whether you pursue the same, passion or career choice as your parents, or you chose something different,
Yeah.
you know, bring it on.
We're gonna do a green room series.
We're gonna do a green room series,
which we can't spoil all of it.
But you know,
But
if you
think of why we're calling it the green room series, so it's gonna
we talk
be
about
off air,
conspiracies?
pre-recording. Yeah, we'll talk about whatever.
conspiracies,
Crazy.
Yeah.
everything
On a certain vibe.
on a certain vibe.
If you know what we're saying.
Yeah, I feel you. I get it. I get it.
We'll have some trees in the room.
Yeah. Well, it's legal, so
It's legal. Why not?
I had like one of my friends was like, "Oh, I'm gonna go smoke some weed outside." And you start giggling. I'm like, "Dude, it's legal. Like, we get it." Like,
Yeah,
We just don't want to just, you know,
like put it out there.
yeah, like
Yeah, we
it's out
gotta-
there, but what's the word I'm looking for?
We're Oprahs.
No,
we told someone that
exactly.
that we were trying to be Joe Rogans, and she's like, "No, I see Oprah for you guys." And we're like, "Okay,
Yeah.
we're Oprah."
You guys are funny. Where can they reach out to you?
They
I
can
think
reach
you
out
plugged
to me
everything.
on Gill KG.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I have a Twitter account. It's Prancing Pakora. I put a lot of random stuff out
Whoa.
there. I got these.
Where have
when
you been
these
all my life?
apps
Like, I feel
first
like you
started.
rap. You got like funny Twitter handles. That's jokes.
It's just when it's Twitter when it first started. Like I feel like I was on it. Instagram when it first started.
So it's
I feel like I
Hotmail.
was
Everyone
like
had
jumped
like
on it.
all the girls had Pretty Girl 25 at Hotmail. All the guys had like
Email Hotmails, right?
Yo, my Hotmail was Gurjoat_Iverson at hotmail.com. And
Mine?
I spelt my name wrong too.
mine was alcoholic 187 at Hotmail.
No way.
How old
And
are you?
I was like in grade 7, and I was
Really?
obsessed with this Californian hip hop group called the Alcoholics or the Licks. So
Yeah.
I spelled alcoholic. I replaced all the C's with K's.
Oh.
187, and it was so weird. And it's no longer in existence.
Yeah, mine doesn't work anymore either because I never want. But I spelt my name wrong when I made it, and then for some reason I was like, whatever, and I just let it go
That's
like that. So, and then I got made fun of it for the longest time, but I just kept it. I didn't even care about correcting it or whatever. I
Good
was
for
like,
you.
whatever.
Good for
You're like,
you.
you can't even spell your own name. I'm like, fuck off.
You guys are
Seriously.
funny. Well, thanks guys for joining me. Appreciate
Yeah, this was
it.
fun.
This was a fun
you.
chat. Really appreciate it. If you want to connect with New Theory Radio, it's at New Theory Radio on Instagram and Twitter. And if you want to connect with me, Nav Nanwa, it's at Nav Nanwa on Instagram and at nnanwa on Twitter. Thank you so much for tuning in, and you will hear from us next time. Peace.